In the top stories, new representatives selected for Electoral Commission. Finalists chosen for Soca Monarch Groovy competition and National Thanksgiving service to be held on Monday. We'll be right back with the details after this.
There is no better time to discover what your National Bank Visa debit or black cards can do.
Mimi, what's that song?
It can get you out of a pickle. Using my National Bank Visa card is fast, secure, and convenient.
Cashless SKN is our new lifestyle choice. National Bank, always here.
Hello and welcome to the ZIZ Major Newscast. I'm Jason Davis. Prime Minister the Honourable Dr. Terence Drew and the Leader of the Opposition, the Honourable Mark Brantley, have moved to replace electoral commissioners who resigned on December 1 and 2. Prime Minister Drew and Mr. Brantley were notified by the Governor-General's office on Friday that Jason Hamilton had resigned on Thursday and O'Grenville Brown resigned on Friday. On Friday, the Prime Minister advised the Governor-General that Attorney-at-Law Vaughn Henderson has been selected and has agreed to serve as his nominated Electoral Commissioner. On the same day, the Governor-General was advised that the Leader of the Opposition nominated retired Assistant Commissioner of Police Joseph Liburd, who also agreed to serve as his nominated Electoral Commissioner. The Prime Minister thanked the two outgoing Electoral Commissioners for their service to the people of St. Kitts and Nevis and wished the two Electoral Commissioners-elect well in their new posts and urged them to, quote, be guided by principles of integrity and transparency in their new roles, end quote. The new Electoral Commissioners-elect will shortly take office. The chairman of the Electoral Commission, Attorney-at-Law Nasibu Butler, remains in his post. 8 performers have been selected to move on to the groovy finals of the Sugar Mass Soca Monarch competition following eliminations that were held on Saturday night. Here's a quick recap. The eliminations are being held over 2 nights, with the Groovy segment held on Saturday and the Power segment slated for Sunday. At the end of the Groovy eliminations, the finalists are Tobap with 228 points, Multimedia and T-Bone with 227 points, KO with 200 points, Mr. Hype with 191 points, Mr. Bagnall with 188 points, Jeezy Sparta with 182 points, Blade with 177 points, and Genesis with 175 points. In the Power segment on Sunday night, 16 more contestants are slated to compete for the 8 spots in the finals on Wednesday, December 12 at Carnival Village. Jason Davis for ZIZ News. The Ministry of Ecclesiastical Affairs will be hosting a national Thanksgiving service on Monday afternoon for the safe passage through the 2022 hurricane season. According to the ministry, the event will be held in collaboration with the National Emergency Management Agency, the St. Kitts Christian Council, the St. Kitts Evangelical Association, and the St. Kitts Seventh-day Adventists. The service will be held at 5 p.m. on Monday at the Pro-Cathedral of St. George with St. St. Barnabas, formerly the St. George's Anglican Church on Keon Street. The service will be carried live on ZIZ Radio and TV. Coming up, we'll have another look at some of the stories from the past week. Stay tuned.
Fresh Look Paint and Tiles sale. Give your home a fresh look with a fresh coat of paint and a fresh set of tiles. From Horswood's Building and Nevis Center's 25% off Fresh Look Paint and Tiles sales event. Yes, come to Horswood's Building and Nevis Centers today and get fresh savings of 25% off all paints and tiles store-wide. Come and give your home a fresh new look with fresh savings and fresh new colors. Fresh new piles of tiles in all styles with a fresh 25% off store-wide on all paints and tiles at Horswood's Building and Nevis Center. Give your home a fresh start with a fresh new look with fresh new colors, fresh new piles of tiles in all styles, and fresh quality paint at Horswood's Building and Nevis Center. Fresh Look 25% off paints and tiles sales event. See store for details.
You should be here.
Despite all the controversies surrounding Carnival festivity.
Stories of courage, inspiration, valiant leadership, service and others were shared and celebrated at a special sitting of the Federal Parliament to recognize the 2022 group of the 25 most remarkable teens in St. Kitts and Nevis. More in this report.
At the award ceremony held at the St. Kitts Marriott Resort Ballroom on Wednesday, awards were presented by members of Parliament. The 2022 class of the 25 most remarkable teens in St. Kitts and Nevis are Dominic Williams, Sienna Henville and Maija Lake for youth activism, Malik Creeley and Quinaika Bradshaw for a personal decision to change, Darren Thomas for scholar athlete and leadership, Denidra Evelyn and Tanaiki Davis for courage to overcome. Jazara Claxton and Shamari Roberts were awarded for sport. Awards for scholar athletes were presented to Kaylee L. Ward, Jamad Huggins and Niran Ward. The award in academics was presented to Brianna Brown, while academics and spiritual commitment was presented to Malika Benjamin. Additional awards went to Devontae Brown and Brianna Paul for leadership and volunteerism, Tatiana Leader for entrepreneurship, Zara Brown for entrepreneurship and music, Laquandre Laurie for leadership and sports, Shekim Forbes for volunteerism, Omarion Bartlett for most promising, Donnell Francis for spirit of hope, while Siandre Fleming and Malachi Tucker Gums were recognized for excellence in performing arts. Junior Minister of Youth Empowerment, Honorable Iseline Phillip, was pleased that the young people were recognized for their excellence and for developing themselves by giving service to their communities and society.
Recently appointed Supervisor of Elections, Oakland Peets, has given the guidelines for the Nevis Island Assembly elections on December 12. Here's a joint breakdown of those regulations outlined by Mr. Peets.
In a statement, he said, following the issuance of the writ of elections by the Governor General, Sir S.W. Tapley Seaton, GCMG CVO QCJP LLD, there are 5 electoral districts and for each district a returning officer. The returning officers and nomination sites are Kevin Barrett at the Magistrate Court in District 1, Rohan Claxton at the Alberta Payne Community Center, Bath Village in District 2, Floyd Robinson at the Hanleys Road Community Center in District 3, Ermelita Elliott at the Newcastle Police Station in District 4, and Tricia Williams at the Cotton Ground Police Station in District 5. The officers will be at the nomination sites from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. and from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. to receive nominations. Candidates must be nominated by at least 2 voters who are registered in the constituency in which the candidate seeks election.
According to Election Supervisor Oakland Peets, the sites of polling stations will be the same as those that were used on August 5, except those that were at the Charlestown Methodist Church Hall. On Election Day, polls will be open at 7 a.m. and will close at 6 p.m. All persons in lines at polling stations before 6 p.m. will be allowed to vote. Anyone who comes in line after will not be allowed to vote. Persons whose national identification cards have expired, have been misplaced, lost, or are being held by others will still be able to vote upon presentation of any other form of government-issued picture ID once they are properly registered. These can be a passport, driver's license, or social security card. Presiding officers, polling clerks, and tally clerks will be appointed and are mandated to undertake their assigned tasks without partiality, fear, or favor. The presiding officers will be responsible for the maintenance of order at the polling stations. Candidates are allowed to be present, but they are not allowed to spend more than 5 minutes together with their agent. Candidates are only allowed to enter those stations in which he or she is a candidate. Presiding officers will receive all election materials, including ballot boxes, in due course. The ballot boxes will be displayed, inspected, and secured before ballots are cast. At the close of the polls, boxes will be sealed and transported to the point of counting under armed guards and in the presence of appointed party agents. To this end, the political parties have been invited to appoint agents to witness all that goes on in the polling stations, as well as at the counts of the votes cast. According to the election supervisor, the ballots will be counted by the returning officers with the assistance of a designated presiding officer at an appointed place in each constituency, which will be given later. He appealed to the public to ensure that the elections are peaceful and that each person gets one vote in the right place. He encouraged registered voters to vote and cautioned unregistered voters to not attempt to vote and not to impersonate any voter.
Sugar Mass 51 was officially declared open on Friday. The St. Kitts and Nevis National Carnival Committee and the Ministry of Creative Economy came together to present a production dubbed Sugar Mass Wonderland. Here's more.
The opening activities kicked off with a parade from the National Museum to Carnival Village at 5 p.m. The parade featured a cross-section of folklore, past winners, mass bands, and music. Following the parade, Sugar Mass Wonderland began and featured top entertainment, theatrical performances, pageant contestants, competitors of panorama, folklore, soca and monarch, calypso monarch, music legends, Juve, junior and grand parade troops. Chair of the National Carnival Committee, Shannon Hawley, spoke of the aim of Sugar Mass 51 and beyond.
Sugar Mass 51 will be one of the greatest events that St. Kitts and Nevis has ever witnessed. We will continue to share the beauty of our federation and our culture with the world. We will continue to surpass expectations as we continue to grow our carnival product. Our aim is to attract more regional and international participation and make St. Kitts Nevis Carnival the absolute best carnival in the world, all while ensuring the economic growth of our federation.
Minister of the Creative Economy, Honorable Samuel Duggins, said the Federation's carnival celebrations have stood the test of time.
Through many challenges, global supply chain issues, changing governments and ministers, and financial constraints, one thing is certain: our national carnival has withstood the test of time, just as our folklore, our masquerades, actors, clowns, mummies and macajumbies, Kittians and Nevisians are known to be small but daring. We are known to be innovative and resourceful, and despite the insurmountable challenges faced with the COVID-19 pandemic globally, we are happy to see Carnival back in full swing. We will develop and deliver a national Carnival experience for all to enjoy as we continue to celebrate our country.
The presentations of Sugar Mass Wonderland saw performers including King Conrad's Grandmasters, Easy, Tebulous Children's Dance Theatre, Synergy Dance Movement, Advanced Dance Agency, Shaki, and EBJ Harmonics. The event also saw the sashing of Sugar Mass 51 pageant contestants. Sugar Mass 51 will be celebrated from Friday, December 2nd, 2022 to Tuesday, January 3rd, 2023, under the theme Celebrate as One for Sugar Mass 51.
After the break, Guyana's Ministry of Health announces it will distribute free hearing aids, and El Salvador sends police officers and soldiers